Tom Brown had worked at the Galactic Council's archive station for 23 years, but he had never seen anything like this before. The holographic display in front of him showed thousands of star systems, each one carefully mapped and documented by different alien civilizations over millions of years. But there was something odd about the way they all treated one particular solar system, Earth's solar system. He rubbed his tired eyes and looked again at the data streaming across his screen. The morning had started like any other day at the archive station, a massive structure floating in deep space that served as the central library for all known galactic civilizations. Tom had been transferred here after Earth finally developed faster-than-light travel 5 years ago, becoming one of the first humans to work with the massive alien database. "Computer, show me all travel routes near Sol system from the past million years," he said, his voice echoing in the empty research chamber. The hologram shifted, displaying countless lines of light representing various alien ships' paths through space. What he saw made his heart skip a beat. Every single route curved away from Earth, not just a little, but in wide, deliberate arcs that added years to their journeys. It was as if the entire galaxy had agreed to avoid Earth's corner of space entirely. Tom leaned forward, his coffee forgotten on his desk. "Computer, show me any warning beacons near Earth's solar system." The display changed again, and his eyes widened. Surrounding Earth's solar system were hundreds of warning beacons, placed there by different alien civilizations over thousands of years. Some were so old they predated human civilization itself. "Display beacon messages," he commanded, his voice barely a whisper now. The translations appeared one by one. "Avoid this system. Danger. Do not approach. Protected zone. No contact authorized. Warning. Critical containment area." Tom's hands shook as he downloaded the data to his tablet. This couldn't be right. Humans had always assumed they hadn't been contacted because they were too primitive, too far behind other civilizations. The truth, it seemed, was far more complex. He pulled up Earth's official first contact records from 5 years ago. When humanity had finally achieved faster-than-light travel, they'd expected to find a bustling galaxy filled with alien civilizations eager to welcome them. Instead, they found a strangely empty region of space around their solar system. The few alien species they eventually contacted seemed oddly reluctant to visit Earth, always meeting at neutral locations far from the solar system. "Computer, cross-reference warning beacon placement dates with Earth's geological history," Tom said, following a hunch. The computer worked for several minutes, then displayed a new set of data that made him gasp. Every major geological event in Earth's history, every significant shift in the planet's development, had been followed by a new wave of warning beacons. It was as if something about Earth itself terrified even the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. Tom looked out the massive window of the archive station at the distant stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, looking like just another blue dot in the vastness of space. But now he knew better. Now he knew that dot was something special, something that had made the smartest beings in the galaxy stay away for millions of years. He reached for his communication device, then hesitated. This kind of information could cause panic back on Earth, but people deserved to know the truth. With a deep breath, he began composing a message to the Earth Science Council. Priority 1 communication. To Earth Science Council. Subject: critical discovery regarding Earth's galactic status. I have uncovered evidence that our planet's isolation was not due to our technological limitations. Something about Earth itself has been keeping advanced civilizations away. Attached data shows. Tom paused, looking again at the warning beacons glowing ominously on his screen. Whatever secret Earth held, it was big enough to frighten beings who could reshape planets and travel between stars. And somehow, humanity had lived on top of it for their entire existence, never knowing they were sitting on something that terrified the galaxy's most powerful civilizations. He pressed send, knowing that with this simple action, everything would change. The real question wasn't why aliens stayed away from Earth. It was what they knew about the planet that humans didn't. Dr. Jane Miller stared at her computer screen in the dim light of the quantum messaging lab. It was 3 a.m., and she should have gone home hours ago, but the strange signals kept coming in. Ever since Earth had built its first quantum messaging array, a massive device designed to catch faster-than-light communications, they had picked up all sorts of alien chatter. But these messages were different. "Play it again," she told the computer, rubbing her eyes. The translated message filled the room once more. "Stay clear of Sol 3. The ancient protocols remain in effect. All vessels are reminded to maintain the exclusion zone." The message had been picked up 12 hours ago, passing between 2 alien ships at the edge of the solar system. Since then, her team had intercepted 6 more similar warnings. Each one spoke about Earth as if it was some kind of restricted area. Her phone buzzed. A message from the Earth Science Council. She opened it and sat up straight in her chair. It was marked urgent and contained data from someone named Tom Brown at the Galactic Archive Station. As she read through his findings, her hands began to shake. "Computer, cross-reference these warning beacon locations with our detected quantum messages," she said. The computer displayed a map showing perfect matches. The ships sending worried messages about Earth were following paths marked by ancient warning beacons. Jane walked to the window of her lab, looking out at the New Mexico desert. The quantum messaging array stretched across the landscape like a giant spider web made of silver threads, each one designed to catch the tiny ripples of faster-than-light communications. Her desk computer beeped. Another message had been caught. This one was different, a longer conversation between what seemed to be 2 alien scientists. "The readings from Sol 3 are getting stronger. Have the humans noticed?" "No. Their instruments are still too primitive to detect the deep patterns." "Good. The containment must hold." The builders knew what they were doing when they chose that species as unknowing guardians. Jane played the message 3 more times. Guardians? Containment. What were they talking about? She pressed the emergency meeting button, sending alerts to her whole team. Within 30 minutes, the lab's main conference room was filled with sleepy but curious scientists. Jane stood at the front, showing them Tom's data and the intercepted messages. "Something's happening," she told them. "The aliens aren't avoiding us because we're primitive. They're avoiding us because they're afraid of something here on Earth. And from these messages, it sounds like we're some kind of guardians, though we never knew it." "But guardians of what?" asked Mike, one of her younger team members. Before Jane could answer, all their phones buzzed at once. The quantum array had picked up the strongest signal yet. The message was short but clear. "Emergency alert to all spacefaring species. Activity levels rising in Sol 3. Maintain distance. The humans must not be disturbed. They are performing their function exactly as designed." The room fell silent. Jane looked at her team's worried faces and knew they were all thinking the same thing. What function? Designed by whom? "We need to talk to the council," she said finally. "Whatever's going on, Earth isn't just our home. It's something important to the entire galaxy. And for some reason, we humans are part of whatever's happening here." As her team began making calls and analyzing data, Jane walked back to her office. She pulled up the first message again, the one about the ancient protocols. Whatever Earth was guarding, whatever humanity had been unknowingly watching over, it was old. Older than human civilization, older maybe than Earth itself. And now, after all these millions of years, something was changing. The only question was, would humanity figure out what they were guarding before it was too late? The underground research facility was the quietest place Bill Parker had ever worked in. 2 miles beneath the Nevada desert, surrounded by the most advanced scanning equipment Earth had ever built, he and his team were about to make history. Or at least, they hoped they would. "Final checks complete," said Mary from her station. "The deep core scanner is ready." Bill nodded, his eyes fixed on the main screen. After Dr. Miller's team had discovered those alien messages, the Earth Science Council had ordered a complete scan of the planet's core. They had built this facility in record time, using some of the new technology they'd learned from their brief contacts with alien civilizations. "Start the scan," Bill ordered. "Let's see what's so special about our planet's core." The machines hummed to life. Unlike old scanning methods that used seismic waves, this new scanner used quantum sensors to look deep into Earth's core. The first images began appearing on the screen. That's not possible," Mary whispered. Bill leaned forward, his mouth dry. The core of the Earth wasn't just a ball of molten metal like their old science books had taught them. It was something else entirely. The quantum scans showed patterns, perfect, geometric patterns that couldn't have formed naturally. "Send this to the council right now," Bill said, his voice shaking, "and get Dr. Miller on the line." Within an hour, the facility's conference room was packed with scientists from around the world, connected through holographic displays. Dr. Miller's tired face filled the main screen. "The patterns match," she said. The quantum signatures we're detecting from the core match the warnings in those alien messages. Whatever they're afraid of, whatever they've been warning each other about, it's down there. Bill pulled up the latest scans. The deeper they looked, the stranger things got. The Earth's core wasn't just unusual, it was artificial. Layer after layer of engineered structures, all of them built around something at the very center, something their sensors couldn't quite see clearly. "Look at this," he said, pointing to one section of the scan. "These structures, they're machines. Ancient machines, still running after billions of years. They're not just sitting there, they're containing something." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Earth wasn't just another planet. It was a constructed thing, a device built for a purpose. And humans had been living on top of it all this time, never knowing their world was artificial. "There's more," Mary said, bringing up new data. "The quantum patterns, they're getting stronger. Whatever's down there, it's becoming more active." Dr. Miller's face grew serious. "That matches our latest intercepted messages. The aliens are getting nervous. More ships are appearing at the edge of our solar system, watching us." Bill looked at the scans again, at the massive engineered structures that made up Earth's core. "But why us?" he asked. "Why put humans here? Why make us the guardians of whatever this is?" A new voice spoke up. Tom Brown from the Galactic Archives, joining the call. "I think I found something about that," he said. "I've been digging through the oldest records I can find. They don't say exactly what's down there, but they talk about the perfect wardens, a species that would be aggressive enough to fight if needed, adaptable enough to survive anything, and curious enough to keep watching and learning." Sound familiar? Everyone in the room looked at each other. Humanity had always wondered why they were the way they were, why they fought so much, why they were so resilient, why they never stopped exploring and questioning. Now they knew. They hadn't evolved by accident. They had been engineered, designed, created for a purpose. They were the guardians of something so important, so dangerous, that the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy had worked together to build an entire planet to contain it. And now, after billions of years, that something was waking up. Professor Robert Wilson's hands gripped the edge of his desk as he watched the readings from his seismic monitoring station go crazy. Located on a small island in the Pacific Ocean, the station had been quiet for months. But now, something was happening deep beneath the waves. "Get me the Earth Science Council," he said to his assistant, Jack. "And wake up everyone in the facility. They need to see this." The massive wall screen showed a map of the Pacific Ocean floor. Red dots were appearing everywhere, marking spots where ancient structures, things they'd always thought were just unusual rock formations, were coming to life. "Sir," Jack called out, pointing to another screen. "Look at these energy readings. They're identical to the patterns from Earth's core." Robert grabbed his tablet and started recording a message. "This is Professor Wilson at Pacific Station 1. We're detecting massive energy signatures from previously dormant structures on the ocean floor. They appear to be some kind of ancient alien technology, and they're all activating at once. Before he could send the message, every screen in the room flashed with an incoming call. It was Bill Parker from the underground facility in Nevada, Dr. Miller from the Quantum Messaging Lab, and Tom Brown from the Galactic Archives, all calling at the same time. "You're seeing this too?" Robert asked them. "It's happening everywhere," Bill said, his face pale. "The core is pulsing with energy. Whatever's down there, it's waking up." Dr. Miller spoke next, her voice tense. "The alien messages have changed. They're not just warning each other anymore. They're scared, really scared. Listen to this." She played a recently intercepted message. "Emergency alert. The Guardian World protocols are initiating. The containment systems are responding to increased activity. All vessels maintain maximum safe distance. The humans must be allowed to complete their function." Tom's face appeared in another window. "I found more in the archives," he said. "These structures under the ocean, they're not just sensors. They're part of a massive machine. The entire Earth is a machine built to contain something. And we're part of it. We're not just living on the containment device. We're part of how it works." Robert looked at the readings again. The ancient structures were forming patterns, lines of energy connecting them across the ocean floor. It looked like a giant web, all centered on one point in the deepest part of the Pacific. "There's something else," Jack said, his voice shaking. He pointed to a new set of readings. "The structures, they're changing, growing, like they're building something." They all watched in silence as the energy web grew stronger. Whatever these ancient machines were, they were preparing for something. And humanity, after millions of years of unknowingly standing guard, was about to find out what they had been watching over all this time. "It gets worse," Dr. Miller said. "Look at these new messages we're picking up. The aliens, they're gathering. Hundreds of ships are appearing at the edge of the solar system. They're watching us, waiting to see if we'll do what we were engineered to do." "And what exactly is that?" Robert asked, though he was afraid he already knew the answer. "We're not just guardians," Tom said quietly. "We're the last line of defense. If whatever's down there breaks free, if the containment fails, we're supposed to stop it. That's why we were made to be fighters. Why we never give up. Why we keep surviving against impossible odds." Robert looked out the window at the peaceful ocean waves. Somewhere deep below, ancient machines were coming to life, preparing for something terrible. And humanity, who had spent their entire existence thinking they were alone in the universe, was about to learn they were part of something much bigger and much more frightening than they had ever imagined. The real question was, were they ready for what came next? The President of the United States stood in the Emergency Command Center, surrounded by screens showing data from around the world. Every major leader on Earth was connected through holographic displays, their faces showing the same mix of fear and amazement. "Show them what we found," Bill Parker said to his team. The main screen lit up with images from deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. The ancient machines had finished building something, a massive structure rising from the ocean floor. But that wasn't the most shocking part. The structure was creating images, showing them the truth about Earth's past. "This is a message," Bill explained, "left by the beings who built Earth. They called themselves the Builders, and they had a very good reason to create our world." The images showed scenes from billions of years ago. The Builders had been the first advanced civilization in the galaxy, and they had discovered something terrible, a force that could destroy everything. Something that couldn't be destroyed, only contained. They built Earth as a prison. Tom Brown's voice came through the speakers. He was still at the Galactic Archives, sending data. But not just any prison. The most advanced containment system ever created. They built an entire planet around their greatest enemy. And then they did something even more amazing. They created us. Dr. Miller stepped forward, holding up her tablet. The latest quantum messages confirm it. Humanity wasn't a natural evolution. We were engineered, designed specifically to be the perfect guardians. Our aggression, our curiosity, our ability to adapt and survive. These weren't random traits. They were carefully chosen. The room fell silent as more images appeared. They showed how the builders had shaped early life on Earth, guiding evolution toward creating humans. They had known that automated systems alone wouldn't be enough. They needed guardians who could think, adapt, and fight if necessary. But why didn't they just tell us? One of the world leaders asked. Why keep it secret for so long? Professor Wilson, speaking from his Pacific station, answered, because we needed to develop naturally, to become who we are without outside influence. The builders knew that guardians who chose their own path would be stronger than ones who were simply following orders. New alarms started blaring. The ancient machines under the ocean were showing them something else now, live readings from the core. The thing imprisoned inside Earth was moving, trying to break free. This is what all the alien civilizations were afraid of, Bill said. Not us, but what we're guarding. It's a being of pure energy, something that could consume entire galaxies. The builders gave their lives to contain it, and they trusted humanity to be its eternal guardians. Dr. Miller's voice shook as she read the latest alien messages. The other civilizations, they're not staying away because they're afraid of us. They're staying away out of respect. We're not just some primitive species to them. We're the guardians of the most dangerous prison in the galaxy. The president looked at all the faces on the screens, human and alien alike. So what happens now? She asked. Now, Tom said, we have to make a choice. The containment systems are asking for our help. The builders left us everything we need to maintain the prison, but they also left us the freedom to choose. We can walk away, let someone else handle it, or we can accept our role as the galaxy's guardians. The ancient machines pulsed with energy, waiting for humanity's decision. After millions of years, the secret of Earth was finally revealed. They weren't just another species on another planet. They were the chosen guardians, the last line of defense against something that threatened all life everywhere. And now, they had to decide if they were ready to accept that responsibility. Mark White stood on the platform at the United Nations building in New York, watching as the alien ship descended from the clouds. After all these years of staying away, the Galactic Council had finally decided to meet humanity face to face. As Earth's newly appointed ambassador to the galaxy, Mark felt the weight of history on his shoulders. The ship landed softly in the cleared area, its silver surface reflecting the morning sun. It was smaller than expected, about the size of a bus, but its design spoke of technology far beyond human understanding. They're here to help, Dr. Miller said beside him. She held up her quantum communicator, showing the latest messages they'd intercepted. They say they brought the builders complete records, everything we need to know about our true purpose. The ship's door opened with a soft hum. 3 beings stepped out, each different from the others, representatives of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. They walked with grace despite Earth's gravity, their environmental suits glowing softly. The tallest alien stepped forward and spoke, its words translated by a floating device. Guardians of Sol 3, we come in friendship and respect. For millions of years, we watched from afar. Now, it is time for truth. Inside the UN Assembly Hall, leaders from every nation on Earth gathered to hear what the aliens had to say. Screens showed the ancient history of the galaxy, the rise of the builders, their desperate war against the entity they eventually imprisoned within Earth, and their careful creation of humanity. Your species was crafted with great care, the alien explained. The builders gave you their best traits, their curiosity, their determination, their ability to fight when needed. But they also gave you something unique, the freedom to choose your own path. Mark listened as the alien explained how Earth's core worked, how it used the planet's natural energy to maintain the prison, how the ancient machines under the ocean helped stabilize the containment, and how human consciousness itself played a part in keeping the entity trapped. Your minds, your very presence on this world, strengthen the containment, the second alien said. The builders designed you to resonate with the prison systems. Your thoughts, your emotions, your very lives reinforce the walls of this world's greatest secret. But why tell us now? Mark asked. Why not let us keep living in ignorance? The third alien stepped forward. Because the entity stirs. After billions of years, it senses weakness. The time has come for you to take conscious control of your role as guardians. The builders left you tools, technologies, knowledge, all waiting until you were ready. Screens around the hall showed images of hidden chambers beneath every continent, filled with advanced technology left by the builders. For thousands of years, these places had waited, protected by automatic systems, until humanity was advanced enough to understand their purpose. We offer you full membership in the Galactic Council, the first alien said. Not as primitives to be taught, but as equals to be respected. Few species in the galaxy have ever borne such an important responsibility for so long. Mark looked around the hall at the faces of Earth's leaders. He saw not fear, but determination. Humanity had always wondered why they felt different, special somehow. Now they knew. They had been created for the greatest task imaginable. Protecting all life in the galaxy. There's one more thing, the second alien added. The builders left a message, specifically for the day when humanity would learn the truth. Would you like to hear it? The hall fell silent. After millions of years, they were about to hear the words of their creators, the beings who had shaped humanity for this very moment. The message began to play, and the future of Earth changed forever. The builder's message echoed through the UN Assembly Hall, its words touching every human heart. The hologram showed a tall, graceful being, speaking across billions of years. Children of Earth, if you are hearing this, you have discovered your true purpose. We created you, yes, but you have become so much more than we designed. You are our greatest achievement, not because you are perfect guardians, but because you have grown beyond our plans. Mark White stood straighter as the ancient being continued. The whole world was watching this broadcast, every human on Earth united in this moment of truth. The entity we imprisoned within your world is darkness itself, a force that consumes all life, all thought, all possibility. We could have created simple machines to guard it. Instead, we created you, beings capable of choice, of growth, of determining your own destiny. The hall was completely silent. Even the alien representatives stood motionless, hearing these words for the first time themselves. Now you face a choice. The builder's message continued. The prison we built will hold for millions more years, but it requires conscious guardians. You can step away from this duty. We have given you that freedom. The galaxy will find others to watch over Earth, or you can embrace your role, not because you were made for it, but because you choose it. Dr. Miller's quantum communicator buzzed. New messages were pouring in from across the galaxy. Thousands of alien civilizations were watching, waiting to see what humanity would decide. The President of the United States stood up. Before we make this choice, I have a question for our alien guests. If we accept our role as guardians, what does that mean for humanity's future? Are we trapped here forever? The tallest alien stepped forward. The builders thought of this too. The technology they left behind includes ways to maintain the prison while allowing humanity to grow, to explore, to join the galactic community. You would not be prisoners, but protectors who can reach for the stars while keeping watch over your vital charge. Tom Brown's voice came through the speakers from the Galactic Archive Station. I found something else in the records, he said. The builders didn't just make us strong enough to be guardians. They made us strong enough to be free. They wanted us to choose this role, but they also wanted us to choose our own path forward. Mark looked at the faces around him, human and alien alike. Then he smiled, because he suddenly understood something important. We don't have to choose between being guardians and joining the galaxy, he said. We can do both. That's what makes humans special. We never accept simple either/or choices. We find our own way. The builder's hologram seemed to smile, as if it had expected this answer across the billions of years. If humanity accepts its role, Mark continued, we do it our way. We'll guard the prison, but we'll also explore the stars. We'll protect the galaxy, but we'll also join it. We'll remember our created purpose, but we'll also forge our own destiny. One by one, Earth's leaders stood up. The vote was unanimous. Humanity would accept their role as guardians, but they would do it while reaching for the stars. The alien representatives bowed in respect. Across the galaxy, thousands of civilizations celebrated. After billions of years, the guardian species had fully awakened to their purpose. The builder's final words filled the hall. This was always our hope, not that you would simply obey your programming, but that you would choose to protect others while remaining true to yourselves. You are our children, but you have grown beyond us. The galaxy is yours now, to protect and to explore. Make us proud. As the message faded, Mark looked out at the assembly. Humanity's greatest fear had always been that they were alone in the universe. Now they knew the truth. They weren't alone. They were the protectors, the guardians, the ones trusted with the galaxy's greatest secret. And they would face that responsibility the same way they faced everything else, by forging their own path forward into a future that even the builders hadn't imagined possible.